Goal number 13. Content. I'm going to talk about an introduction, goal number 13, the Paris Agreement, my own opinion, facts, why is it important, how the climate change is affecting everyone, what happens if we don't act, statistics, the UK, Leonardo DiCaprio, and finally a solution. Introduction. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are the goals the world is trying to achieve. The UN Sustainable Goals consist of 17 goals. If they manage to achieve all the goals or even a few, they will achieve a better and more sustainable future for everyone. They address the global challenges we all face, including those related to poverty, inequality, climate, environment degradation, prosperity, and justice. These goals were made in 2015, and the goal is to reach all of these goals within 2030. What is goal number 13? Goal number 13 is climate action, and most importantly, to take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. Climate change is now affecting every one of us and every country on the planet. That's why one of UN's goals is climate action. Climate change is disturbing national economies, and it's also affecting lives, costing the people and the communities more and more each day. The weather is changing. You can see the difference from 20 years ago to now, and how much the weather pattern has changed in all 20 years. Greenhouse gas emissions are now at their highest levels they have ever been. If we don't do anything, the world's average temperature will likely surpass 3 degrees centigrade in this century. The people affected the most is the poorest and most vulnerable. There are now affordable, scalable solutions available to countries for more clean and resilient economies. Climate change is a global challenge that doesn't respect the national borders. The climate problem is a problem that requires solutions that needs to be coordinated at an international level to help the developing countries move toward a low carbon economy. The Paris Agreement. To strengthen the global response to climate change, countries adopted the Paris Agreement in Paris 2015. The agreement went into force in November 2016. In the agreement, all the countries involved agreed to work to limit global temperature rise to below 2 degrees Celsius. And as of April 2018, 175 parties had signed the Paris Agreement, and there were 168 parties that had communicated their first nationally determined contributions to the United Nations Framework Conventions on the Climate Change Secretariat. The Paris Agreement provides an opportunity for countries to strengthen the global response to the climate threat, and this is as said by keeping a global temperature rise this century below 2 degrees. And according to the United Nations, the Paris Agreement has helped open up nearly 23 million US dollars in business opportunities in emerging markets for climate smart investments. My personal opinion. I personally feel like this goal is the most important goal on the list because we don't have much time before it's too late to act, and if we want to be able to achieve the other 16 goals, we need to have a planet, and we need to take care of our planet. Facts. Facts about the climate change. According to a continuous study conducted by the NASA Goddard Institute, the Earth's average global temperature has risen by 0.8 degrees Celsius since 1880. Since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, the thermometer of the readings have risen continuously. Why is it important? Since the climate change is caused by human activities and is threatening the way we live our lives and also the future of our planet, when we address climate change, we are able to build a sustainable world for everyone. But if we want to accomplish this, we need to act now. Climate change is affecting everyone. Severe weather and the rising sea levels are affecting people and their property in both developed and developing countries. The climate change is affecting absolutely every one of us, the farmers in the Philippines and the businessmen in London. The ones the ones that is more vulnerable is of course the poorest and the marginalized groups like women, children and the elderly. What happens if we don't act? If this is left unchecked, climate change will cause the average global temperature to increase beyond 3 degrees Celsius, and it will affect every ecosystem. We are already seeing how the climate change can exacerbate storms and disasters and threats such as food and water scarcity, which can lead to conflict. It will cost us a lot more if we don't do anything than if we take action now. We now have an opportunity to take action that will eventually lead to more jobs, great prosperity, and better lives for all while reducing greenhouse gas emissions and building climate resilience. Statistics. Statistics shows that the global temperature has risen. This video from NASA shows how the global temperature has risen since 1880 to 2018, and you can clearly see a difference. The blue parts show the temperature that is lower than the average between 1951 and 1980. The red parts show the temperature that is above average. And according to the Solar Impulse Foundation, is the greenhouse effect a natural phenomenon? However, the increase in greenhouse gases is linked to human activities. I am now going to show you a video from NASA that shows how the global temperature has risen. The UK. There are many countries that are doing much to fight for the climate change. One country is the United Kingdom. On April 21st, 2017, the United Kingdom celebrated its first 24-hour period without coal power since the Industrial Revolution. It came after the government committed to shutter its last coal-fueled plant by 2025. While there's plenty of work still to be done, it's a major achievement for a country whose capital is nicknamed the Big Smoke. Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio is a name that tops many lists, but today his leading role in fighting climate change is most recognizable. In 1998, after his very successful role in Titanic, he established the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation when he was just 24 years old. The organization's goal is to promote environmental awareness whenever and wherever it can. The Hollywood hero has sat on the board of various environmental organizations, including WWF, International Fund for Animal Welfare, Global Green USA, and Natural Resources Defense Council. These are only a few names in a long list of climate change progress made. DiCaprio is still very active and will hopefully be for many years to come. A solution. Here are a solution to climate change. Consume less. The easiest way to cut back on greenhouse gas emissions is simply to buy less stuff. Whether by foregoing an automobile or employing a reusable grocery sack, cutting back on consumptions results in fewer fossil fuels. You can think green when making a purchase, for instance. If you are in the market for a new car, buy one that will last the longest and have the least impact on the environment. A good choice can be a used vehicle with, for example, a hybrid engine. When purchasing the essentials such as groceries, buying in bulk and reduce the amount of packaging, plastic wrapping, cardboard boxes, and other unnecessary materials. These are the sources I've used. Thank you.